Hi everybody, welcome back to Geektopia Island. We're here with the new Kevin's Kreations. I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm Cardwell.
And we're here diving into another fan-requested deck. A deck brew. It's with the Princess of Fleeting Hope, Aimul. She's the white-black ruler from the newest TSW set. She's all about the inverse cards. The little crazy flipperoo cards.
Yeah.
That's what she does. Pretty much, that's really all we're delving into. We're going to use all of her fun cards that she can do and just see what all she can do.
Pretty much you'll be, get your fingers ready to go on the side of the sleeve and flip it.
Yeah, we'll be flipping a lot of cards on the inverse, so.
During the battle. Alright.
Just know. Alright, well first off, we'll start off with the ruler, like always. Princess of Fleeting Hope. She's Judgments for 2 white, energized for a white and a black. And her ability on the front side is you can pay 0, recover target Resonator. Play this ability only during your opponent's turn.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, her ability... So you can play her one of 2 different ways. You can play her with her utilizing her backside, the J ruler part, which we'll get to. Or you can utilize the front part with the 0 ability.
Yeah.
My roommate, he utilized the front 0 part because you can, in essence, play Jupiter turn 2 or turn 3 if you go second with the 0 ability. So the cutest thing about it is you can untap your little mana dorks, like your little sacred elves or your Melfies, on their turn. So you're like, great, into your turn, untap my sacred elf, play a Melfi. I have 2 mana by turn 2, or 3 mana by turn 2. Great.
And doesn't this stop the ruler that bounces once?
It does actually stop Lumia from being able to trigger her things because you let her target and then you're like, no, that dude untaps. So
like, can't bounce it.
Sorry.
So thank you.
Yeah, because it has to have a tapped creature to do it, or a tapped resonator. So you're like, great, untap that.
Yep.
Recover that.
It's pretty cute.
But when she judgments, she turns into a 3/3. I know. Stats are
so
amazing.
High.
Woo!
Woo!
But she's get flying and imperishable and the new mechanic drain. Well, it's they just gave it a keyword, but it's when this card deals damage, you gain that much life.
Yeah.
And then when she judgments, you look at the top 3 cards and you get to put a non-chant card, 3 or less, into play for free, and you may invert that card if you want.
Yes.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, especially since she judgments for 2 white. So even then you're getting a free card like every time you... And imperishable, so you just constantly keep doing it.
So you get technically 2 dudes for 2 mana.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And then her other part of it is this card gets +2/+2 for each inverse entity you control.
Yeah.
So an inverse entity is any card that is in play with the inverse ability on it. Only like a permanent. So like the stones, additions, and resonators. Any of those that are inverted, those count towards her to give her +2/+2. Not any chance, none of those count. They're cool, but they don't count for it.
And to help you with that, the creature is literally on the creature type has /inverse on that. So that'll help you keep up with the
so that way you know who's got inverse and which ones has inverse. We also have a couple stones that have inverse and a couple additions. So we'll get into it. We'll get into the nitty-gritty into what she can do. But
so she can be really big, gaining life, constantly getting you free dudes.
And her having imperishable is pretty good just because you can run her into whatever you need to judgment again and get more free things.
Exactly.
So with that said, we'll delve into the dudes.
Alright. The first one, Angel of Hope, 1 white. I kept reading this guy over and over. It's really good, actually.
Yeah.
So it's a flying drain, so it has basically deals damage, gain life. It's a 2/3. But whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this card. So immediately it just improves itself by itself. Now, it also has an inverse ability. Whenever you judgment a ruler, which you can multiple times, go ahead and flip it. So basically, if this card has a counter on it when it inverses, then destroy target, is it just normal resonator? Yeah, destroy target resonator.
Yeah.
Which is pretty hot, too.
So you pay 2 mana, you get to judgment, you inverse her, and as long as she gets a counter on her, which you've gained life probably by that time, you get to kill a dude for 2 mana.
Yep.
It's pretty hot.
And it becomes a 4/5 flying plus whatever counters on it, so whoever knows whenever you do that.
Yeah. It's super good, and just for what it does, because the little angel just gives you so much advantage. Because early game, you gain life. Like, it doesn't even, like, you don't need to worry about flipping it. I mean, cool if you do. Great, you get to kill the thing, but otherwise you just, like, gain life.
Especially when it's turn 1, like, you're just like, when are you going to kill this guy? Because it keeps getting bigger, pretty much.
And it's got flying already.
Yeah.
Great.
Pretty awesome. Alright, the next one, of course, is Dark Riding Hood. 2-drop 6/6, pretty good. That's all it is until you inverse. So how to inverse is you remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. Inverse this card. It becomes a 8/8 with berry of red and black.
Yeah, and it actually changes to a green, or like a wind resonator.
Yeah.
That's not really a big necessary thing in this deck so much. It's just there because it's 2-mana 8/8 with barrier red and black.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And with the creatures and spells, you can get mystery counters, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, next guy, the Aimul's Unicorn. Tell us about this guy here.
All right, so Aimul's Unicorn, it's super good and limited. I don't know, it's not that good in like standard for the most part. In this deck, it'll be pretty good just because it's a cheap dude that can inverts whenever your ruler does her thing, her judgments. But otherwise, it's just a 6/6 for 2. And it inverts the same time as your J ruler when you judgment a J.
Yeah.
Goodness, that was
Well,
hard.
yeah, we're going to be saying that a lot, so it's going to be...
And then it turns into an 8/6 with precision, and as long as its power is higher than a creature, you can kill that creature for whenever it comes into play.
Yeah.
So you are like, great, you're 7/4, it dies.
It's just dead. And precision, I think that's my favorite keyword, because you can attack creatures, so you're just like, okay, and that other dude dies.
And even then, if you keep putting counters on the rabbit before it judgments, or before it, not it judgments, before you judgment, it inverses and it has bigger power to kill bigger dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, you're getting to kill a dude for 2 mana. Really, really good.
Yeah. Alright, the next one, Grimm the Crimson Moon. It costs 3 for 7/7 flying barrier against black, which is pretty fun. Alright, he has a lot of...
And barrier white.
And barrier white?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow,
pretty
I didn't
silly.
even see that. The art was blocking it. Alright, tell us about this, because we have a lot of
Alright, so he's got a lot
here.
of text to him. I don't remember his coming to play for the fairy tales, but he does something with them.
Reveal any number of fairy tales, resonators you control from your hand, which is the riding hoods. I was checking them out. I think that's it. With that, you put a 1/1 counter on this card for each card revealed this way. So multiple riding hoods, you can get more. Whenever it attacks, you put 2 mystery counters on your J ruler, which is awesome. And in order to basically, whenever you do judgment of a ruler, you may remove 2 mystery counters from your J ruler. If you do, invert this card.
Yeah.
Alright, turns in Grimm Hope from the Future. Alright, tell us about this side.
So he is a 10/10 with the same flying barrier, white and black.
Yep.
When he comes into play, he makes target entity lose imperishable and lose the phrase, this card cannot be destroyed. And then he kills that entity.
Yeah, non-magic stone entity.
Yeah. So in essence, it takes away Fox's this card cannot be destroyed clause. It takes that away, and it takes away imperishable, and kills that ruler or kills that whatever creature you need to.
Yeah.
And then cards in your opponent's graveyards lose all abilities. So anything that's like coming back, or like the demonic knight that comes back all the time in Fox. That dude shuts down Fox pretty hard if you have the mystery counters to fuel him.
Sounds like it.
He's just good in essence otherwise, just because he's got barrier white and black.
Yeah.
That's good in and of itself, because black has a lot of kill spells right now in the game. I mean, yeah, some of my cards won't get to protect him, but that's okay.
Yeah. And the fact that because turn 4 you swing 2 mystery counters, then you could judgment and you can kill a dude, and you have a 10/10 flyer with barrier of black and white. Alright, the next guy, Mephistopheles. He's the only one that doesn't have a different name when he flips. It's kind of weird, but that's a fun thing. So he costs 3, 2 white and a colorless for an 8/8. His base thing is pretty good. J/Resonators, your opponent controls enter the field rested, so they come to play tapped. And so no hasty dudes. No, it's just really good. Alright, what's his evil Mephistopheles?
So when you judgment a ruler, he inverts.
Yep.
He inverts into a 10/10 flyer, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And he gives J Resonators your opponent control -2/-2. So base,
Just
flat
straight
-2,
up.
-2 to the board.
Done.
Resonators your opponent's control entering the battlefield that don't trigger their abilities.
So he's an Abdul
Yeah.
as well.
The fun thing about him is you can have as many of them as you have in play, and they all trigger, so they all
Just
minus your dudes.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 of them and you Judgment, they all 3 invert, giving you 30 power flying, and -6/-6 to your opponent's creatures.
Across. Or that, even because with Aimul, you can constantly flip her, so you play another one, then you can flip, and then just keep doing that.
Which is silly.
It's just very silly.
It's silly the way that Mephistopheles can work. And he's just your in-game beater, really. Like, he's so good.
I'm really enjoying this deck already. Like, it's already midway through, and I'm enjoying the shenanigans here.
Yeah.
All right, talk about your boy.
Yeah,
that's in
Gill Lapis.
every video. Even if we don't play black-white, he's in the deck.
Hey, Gill Lapis is just good, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So Gill Lapis, Usurper of Maddening Power. He's 6/7 for 3. Precision, Will of Despair. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He comes into play. He goes and gets a 1-drop, a white or black chant from your deck, and puts it in your hand. There's a lot of 1-drop white and black chants in this deck. That's why he's in here.
That are very powerful.
Yeah, and they each have their own like reason and whatnot to be in the deck. We'll get to them when we get to them.
Yep.
The next card we got is Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. Dr. Jekyll is a 3-drop 7/7/8. When you do Judgment of a Ruler, invert this card, so it inverts as well. And you may pay 1 white less to do judgments. So your judgment now is 1 white instead of 2.
Which is really good.
Yeah. And then he actually goes into Miss Hyde.
Yep.
And so he's an 8. He becomes a she, and she's an 8/9 then. And this card cannot be attacked. And other inverse resonators you control gain +4/+4.
Which is, that's a powerful lord right there.
So all of your other dudes that invert the same time as this one, they get bigger. So your little rabbit that gets to kill things off of its power, it gets to kill a bigger dude when those inverts because you choose to invert her first.
Yep.
Because everything triggers at the same time when you Judgment, so your inverts all trigger, and you choose how they go on the stack correctly. So as long as you do it right, you stack it to where Miss Hyde happens, so that she gives all your dudes +4/+4, and then they all come into play and do things.
Yeah. Which basically makes most of your dudes like flying 14/14s, which is pretty terrifying.
A lot of the dudes are pretty big, so... Yeah. And then the last dude I have for Resonators is he's one of my favorites of the whole set. He cannot be gotten. All those other cards I've mentioned before can all be grabbed with Aimul's look at the top 3 ability. Yeah. This dude cannot be. He is a 4-drop 9/9 quick cast. Sacred Knight of Atonement. He comes into play and he can prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. Great.
Yeah.
So he gets to kill a dude and block a dude.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't Judgment, but he inverses into a 10/10 Precision. Already really good.
Yeah.
And then when this card attacks, target J Resonator gets -2/-2 until the end of turn. So he can spot remove what you need him to spot remove. So they have a 12/12, you're like, great, my 10/10 is going to swing at your 12/12. -2/-2, we're going to trade now. So he gets to kill 12/12s, and if he's then played with the Mephistopheles, he can kill 14/14s he can trade with 14/14s or kill 12/12s.
Nice. And then if you notice, there's a lot of synergy here with minus abilities and power control and all this fun stuff.
That's really the main part of Aimul's creatures. Is her Resonators is all about like controlling the board for you.
Yeah.
And to help that, we have a lot of different spells, really. So
all right. I'm gonna just jump into my most hated one that I love. I hate playing against this stupid card. So, Flourishing Hope, 1 white quick cast, target J/Resonator, that's pretty good, gains this card cannot be destroyed until end of turn. Then remove it to inverse the game, which also quick cast, you pay 3, target player banishes 2 Resonators.
Yeah.
The fact that you can go, of course, Gill Lapis, go get this and protect anything you ever want.
Yeah.
It's just good.
That card is just so super strong. If you're playing white and black, you really need to be using Flourishing Hope. It's too strong of a card right now.
Save your dude, kill their dudes. Like,
yeah.
It's insanely good.
Yeah.
Alright, next one. Soul Concentration. Of course, 1 black. And this is how you can also put mystery counters on your J-Roller. Or 2 1/+1/+1 counters.
Yeah.
So say you Judgment, Angel of Hope just came in. Doesn't have a counter. You can still put a counter on it.
Yeah.
The flip.
The soul concentration's there to give you the mystery counters, so you can either invert the Riding Hood yourself,
Yep.
or to help Grimm, so that way you get the free kill a dude.
Just in case you don't attack with them or anything.
Or give you extra counters. I mean, soul concentration is just
good.
It's a really good one drop in my opinion, just because the amount of things it can do. Even if you're not like real heavy on mystery counters, it's a good way to fuel them.
Yeah. It was pretty cute. Now this one, tell me about False Peace.
Okay, so False Peace is one of those cards I've always wanted to use. The art is gorgeous.
Yes, it really is.
So it's a 1 mana chant, quick cast, white. You gain 4 life and you draw a card, and then invert this card. And then its backside is chant speed, and it's 2 mana. Your opponent discards a card and they lose 4 life.
Yeah.
So
in the turn, you gain life, draw a card, and then on your next turn, then you can do it.
yeah, and then you're like, hey, I'll discard a card. I really like the card for what it can do, and in this deck, it's really fun because Angel of Hope, you get to gain life with it, so you get counters on your Angel, and then you invert and kill things.
Yeah, and I guess a quick explanation. So you cast it, right? It resolves and everything, and then you flip it, invert it, and then you put it in the remove zone, correct?
Yeah.
And then it stays there, and then you can cast it whenever you want.
Yeah, they stay in the remove zone as just like an extra card. They're not in your hand, but they act as another card you can use.
Yeah. And once you cast that, it flips over and goes to the graveyard?
It goes back to the normal side and goes back to the graveyard.
So there you go.
That's how the inverse chants work.
Alright, the next one. White Castle, Piece of Hope. It's an addition.
Yeah.
So 2-drop addition, 1 white, the first front part. This card enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each Resonator you control. Just very hot, very good. Tell us about the Palace of Despair, though.
Alright, so when you Judgment a Ruler, it inverts and it flips and it puts 4 -1/-1 counters on all creatures all Resonators your opponent controls.
Yeah.
So you're just like, hey, all your dudes get little. My dudes are bigger. Thanks.
And to get it off of Aimul, there's a board stay, right? That's blocking. You're just like, okay, cast this. And it lands. Counters on my dudes. Flip it with Aimul.
Yeah.
They all get smaller.
Yeah, because she can go get an entity, so you can go get any card you need. Well, you get the top out of the top 3.
Top 3, yeah.
I got ahead of myself with the next card, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the top 3, she gets any entity that can come into play, and you put it on top, and then you can go. Boom.
Which is cute. And speaking of the next card.
So Fated Reunion is the card that I got ahead of myself on. So 2 mana, you could search your deck for a card and put it on top, which is really cute because you set your deck up for your Judgment. So you're like, hey, I need to get, I don't know, a Mephistopheles. Put him on top, then Judgment. And if you control, or you can draw a card.
Yeah.
If you control 2 black Resonators or 2 darkness Resonators, you can do both. Pretty good. This one you're mostly going to be setting up your deck for your Judgment turn because it's just really, really good. So the turn you want a Judgment, you pay 2 mana, go get a dude, put it on top, or go get the Palace, let it come into play the first time after you Judgment, and then minus their dudes.
And if any, you can draw a card first and then go search, correct?
Yeah. There's just so many things you get to do with this card.
Okay.
No, it actually goes top down.
It does go top down, so...
You have to search first and then draw a card.
Yeah, so if you don't want to, you can just put it there. You don't have to... You choose up to 2, so...
Yeah.
You're good. And the last great just card, was it Miscalculation?
Yeah.
1 white, destroy target attacking... Is it J Resonator? No, just normal
attacking
Resonator. Quick cast.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's a really good kill spell for this deck just because... Yeah, you have creature removal with your Resonators, but you're going to need some on the spells too to just help it. I have a final battle as well. It's just pay 2 life for... It's black and X.
Yep.
Pay 2 life for X if you need to add mana. J Resonators your opponent's control, get -X/-X. Always
simple
good.
As that, yep.
I have a 1 of Heavenly Fruit because you can go get it with Gill. And there's so many dudes, they all cost low mana. So you can get them back and reuse them. And with your Ruler Heaven Imperishable, you can Judgment multiple times to keep inversing them. And who doesn't want to just keep fighting the same creatures again?
Yeah, constantly. With abilities all the time.
Yeah. And then finally, we have Twin Blades of Hope and Despair because you have to. Target Resonator you control gains +6/+6, and target Resonator your opponent controls gets -6/-6. Then invert this chant. It is a quick cast, white-black, and then it inverts into Sword of Fate, 2 white and 2 black chant. You choose one, destroy target J/Resonator, or put target Resonator 5 or less from your graveyard into your field. So that literally will get any Resonator in this deck and put it into play.
Yep.
Or you get to kill the J Resonator.
And I will say this all the time, but I would like full arts of the of both front and side.
Yeah.
Just frame them. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, the artwork is amazing on that card. They did really well putting it together.
Yeah.
Aimul's cards are really, really pretty.
Yep.
They're really strong if they work together. They can be used elsewise, but they're a lot better when they get to work in tandem. Lastly, for the stones, it's pretty simple. Magic Stone of Heaven's Rift, the white-black dual stone. I have 2 Shadowy Light Magic Stones just to help fill out the deck for the white or black. And then we have Aimul's special stone, which is Magic Stone of Hope. And it produces just a white, and when you Judgment a Ruler, you invert this card. And then it turns into a inverse stone, so it helps her +2/+2 ability. And you can tap it for a white or black.
Nice.
So it's a single color, and then it turns into a dual color.
Yeah.
And it pumps your ruler. So.
Which helps because in order to Judgment is white. Only,
Yeah.
So 2
Yeah.
white.
So it's going to give you the ability to Judgment pretty quick, and it helps her get bigger.
Yeah.
And if you have multiples, they all trigger. So then let's say you have all 4 in play, just because that's already 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah.
So she's already getting +8/+8. That's pretty good on top of 1 or 2 of the Resonators that are probably going to be there.
That's pretty awesome right there.
Yeah. That's it as far as the main deck is concerned. The sideboard, I'm still working on it a little bit.
Just glad you have Schroeder's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have one more Final Battle, one more Miscalculation, one more False Peace, and one more Sacred Night of Atonement. I don't know, they're all flexy, because I haven't figured out exactly what I need in the sideboard for this deck yet. But that's just to fill out the extra ones. You can use them when you need them. Like you said, I have 1 Schroeder's Observation. Yeah. White, black, and X. Choose one. Target. This card deals 400 damage multiplied by X to target Resonator. Or you deal 300 multiplied by X to target player. You gain that much life.
I like it.
So you bring this in against like the control deck. So you're like, oh, we're going very long.
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah.
Or you need to kill that big dude. Spot kill it. Great. And you gain that life, so your angels all get counters.
Yeah.
I have the one of Separation of Fates, so you can bring it in and with Gill search it up, and target J Resonator. You loses all abilities until the end of turn. Draw a card. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
I have 2 Zero's Circle Protection, so you can give your Resonators, your J Resonators barrier of a color. And then I have some discard spells because you need discard spells on the board.
Yep.
I have Thought Controls, which is target opponent reveals their hand, choose 3-drop, they remove it, or they discard it.
Yep.
And then 4 Blazers. Because he's just good. Like, he's super strong in everything that he can do, really. 4 mana, 8/8 precision. Look at when it comes into play, look at their hand. They discard a card, you put a counter on him.
Yeah.
So he's a 9/9 for 4. And you can remove a 1/1 counter from him, and then remove an attacking J Resonator battling with this card, or cancel target ability targeting this card.
Yeah. Just very good against control, straight up.
And if you are playing against control, you bring this dude in, because he gets a card out of their hand, and he protects himself against a creature or anything. And in this deck, you can fuel counters on him a lot easier, so you get to do it multiple times. That's the deck as far as it goes for the sideboard. It's mostly built towards control right now, because that's a lot of what we play here.
Yeah.
Is control. It's always been that way.
And basically, your other creatures deal with just other creatures most of the time. So,
and your whole mission with this deck is to get there. It's pretty straightforward. You're gonna play your dudes. Judgment. Your dudes are probably gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to swing past them. That's the whole real goal of this kind of deck. Just because your dudes will be bigger than theirs. On the inverse, because you want to Judgment as many times as possible, really. So if you get the multiple Judgments, it's going to end in your favor.
Yeah. Like I said, in the middle of this video, which I've never done, is like, I'm pretty sure if we go in the brawls, I'm going to ask to play this deck.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Deck is awesome. This is definitely my style of deck right here.
But,
utility.
Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of utility, a whole bunch of just cards you get to do crazy things with.
Nice.
So, hope y'all enjoyed this Kevin's Creations here on Geektopia Island. If you're looking for the deck list, it'll be down below. And thank y'all for coming and joining us today.
Bye.
Alright guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also hit the bell that gets you notifications on all of our content. Also, if you need the latest deck tech, it's going to be to the right. And if you need the latest gameplay videos, it's going to be down below.